Huh. The game just broke. Like, I changed the setting, and it just broke. And it it kicked me out of OBS. Huh. Apparently there was like a DDoS attack that happened like a few days ago too. So I don't know what that's about, but might have to figure out how stream's gonna work, if I'm honest. I mean, like, I was just noticing like all these drop frames, and then, you know, I don't know how it's gonna work. It has stopped dropping frames though. That might look a little bit better. Sorry, I know that it's well, there it goes again. I think my internet is also just poor right now. That also is just entirely probably true, because it was working fine for just that 1 second, and then it just randomly, you know. Let's take a look at this. What settings did it save graphics wise? I mean, if it's just gonna continue to drop frames anyway, right? To the east. Oh, right. I mean, like, if it's just gonna continue to drop frames anyway, might as well just play it on my max settings, like how it usually was. But yeah, that was weird. It was just extremely slow, and then it literally kicked me out of the game. And like, it freaked out my my whole setup here, and then it turned off OBS. Weird. Anyhow. I think I'm 3 for 3 now. Every time I start streaming the new expansion, like, it goes kind of like broken. Like the later streams, I think it will be fine. Like, I thought I was hitting my stride by the midway point of Stormblood, because I know for a fact that the Heavensward streams are a mess. There was no rhyme or reason. There was no structure whatsoever. But with the Stormblood streams, I thought that I was at least, like, you know, I thought at least that it made sense how I was structuring the streams, especially towards the end there. Well, maybe not towards the end. Towards the end, I was just kind of like just trying to finish it, you know? So, I was like streaming for like 4 hours at a time those last couple of streams. But I think taking a break from streaming kind of put me in a mood of like, not disinterest, but like, I'm not quite used to streaming for longer periods. I think it's definitely a skill that you have to just continue to adjust to. And if you stop doing it, you lose the energy for it. Cause like back when I was streaming the end of Stormblood, I was like, I could go like 4 or 5 hours, and it wasn't just Final Fantasy, because I think I started streaming Bloodborne, and I started streaming Elden Ring within that time. And I remember that first Elden Ring stream, I could go on for like a really long time, and that second one, it felt like a little bit like that second one, I felt a little bit more like I had to stop at some point, because I was starting to get tired. And then just with this, maybe the last 2 streams, having me be like tired as hell, kind of put me in a mood. And also, I haven't been playing FF14 in a while either. Anyway, what you after? Fish, crab? I think I've got an eel in a barrel somewhere if you taste for them. Oh,
I do love a bit of time. Chuck some in the pan, and it's like a bloody festival of flavor. Now, what is it I can do for you? Can't say as there's been any major upsets to report these past few weeks. Alphino, eh? I know the one. Our young champion of the downtrodden. Yulmore's richer than all of Norvrant put together, but it's a different story for them as live outside the city. Most spend every waking moment just trying to stay alive, which makes your friend's dedication to helping others stand out all the more. I can ask it a guess as to where he is now. Get a message to him. But you'll need somewhere quiet to meet, away from prying eyes. Make for Stilltide, that's the fishing village just up the path there. If you're looking for a rundown excuse for a tavern, the locals call the Leaky Keel. Wait there and I'll see that Alphino joins you. Oh, hey. Sometimes I wish that when I was having my room painted that I had the red wall behind me and the black wall in front of me. But because right now the back of my room looks kind of uninteresting. Who am I looking for? Oh, up there. This looks like the tavern from like the beginning of New Vegas. It's your first time in a tavern? It's customary to buy a drink if you mean to loiter. What'll you be having? Yeah, I'll have some ale. What'll you be paying with? It's 10,000. Well, no, those are exotic. Where did you come by coins like that? I'm sorry, dear. I don't doubt they have value, but I don't have a touchstone to test their purity. And I'm not about to go begging for one from the neighbors, so we'll just have to come to some other arrangement. I don't have to buy a drink either. Here's an idea. There's a common to the north where we grow our vegetables, but lately the pests have been eating more of them than we have. What you say for a bit of extermination work? Here, warrior of light, savior of the realm, please fight these 3 crocodiles. Visit the caretaker and give him an earful from me for sleeping on a job. He'll be in the old silo next to the fence, snoring like as not. Do that for me and you can laze about here as long as you like. I don't have to buy anything either. Like, Jesus. It's a tavern. You make it sound like I'm doing some shady ass shit in your own home. Like it's a public place, man. Anyway, it'd be cool if Noctis was around. Like, oh yeah, this is where I'm from. They should just like give you like a city from like the other game. Just put Midgar.
he needs to look louder. Perhaps the occupant is hard of hearing? What's good? Hi, Professor Goodfields. Thank you for stopping in. You hear faint squeaking from the room beyond. Time to burst in and save the day, brave adventurer. There's a lot more personality in the text. No one is home, and judging by the lack of furniture, they haven't been for some time. The odd scraps of vegetables on the floor suggest rats have taken up residence in their absence. Oh shit, he's dead. Well. Yeah, just we're playing through Shadowbringers. There was some hiccups with the stream earlier, but I think it's less to do with the game and just more with my internet connection. So if it just craps out again at some point, I apologize. Anyway, how are you today or this evening? I don't know what time of day it is for you, but for me, it's nighttime. Right now, at the very least, I want to get through the whole Alpha Node part, so I can do that first dungeon. But I don't wanna like stay here for too long, but I also don't wanna like not do anything, you know. Alright, well, he didn't have anything to say for himself because he's dead. Or he's just gone. Must have left to join the rest of the hopefuls. Oh, what? In Gate Town, outside Yulemore? You don't have a clue what I'm talking about, do you? And there I was thinking you were another dreamer. Well, never mind all that. Take a seat wherever you like, dear. You've more than earned it. I'll even throw in another drink. On the house. Yeah, just got off work. Finna grub out and chill. Nice, nice. What are we having?
And how is business today, Mistress Theva?
Oh, hey. I have the same coat.
Oh, frenetic. Look, I have a new customer.
Come on. There's our boy.
It is good to see you, my friend.
Oh, he's gonna cry.
The barley seeds you wanted. They should produce a better harvest than the last.
What, just like that? Oh, Alphino, you really are a dear. Well, I'd best be tidying up some of those empty shacks before the pests move in. Keep an eye on the place while I'm out, eh?
It's an interesting concept putting them displaced at a time to give them a history outside of our player character.
It seems an age since last we
neat.
spoke. Not since the prisoner exchange in Doma. And Yotsu. It has been even longer for me, of course, if you count the days I've spent here. The time has only added to the relief I feel seeing you safe and well.
You thought you died.
Huh. Alize said much the same thing. I don't think I've ever had such a scolding. But I believe an exchange of news is in order. Come, tell me of your arrival and all that came before.
I'm trying to recontextualize also that this all happened during the post-patch quests.
But the Exarch and Alize told me what they knew of events, but I had stubbornly clung on to the hope that all-out war might yet be avoidable.
And so I guess if you were playing the game as the patches were coming out, then yes, losing Thancred and then losing Oriange and Ishtola might have felt a lot longer than me going through like, what, 20 quests?
And poor Tataru. She must be sick with worry. We must endeavor to return as soon as we may. It would be nice to bring her good tidings for a change. But before we bid this world farewell, we must first ensure that it is not rejoined to the source. We must prevent the 8th Umbral calamity. Urianger's vision of the future has, I fear, every chance of coming true.
What the fuck is a chance?
By his description, the catalyst for the calamity was a formless and deadly weapon employed by the Garlean Empire.
Here too? Or did they mean back at the source with the Xenos?
Which can only mean one thing.
Right, okay.
Black Rose.
I was like, okay, we
Gaius
know
was
about that
telling you
one.
the truth. When we were on the trail of the Ascians, we saw evidence that the gas was being manufactured once more. Gaius was adamant that the project had been scrapped. But so long as there are wars to be waged, there will always be those determined to win by any means.
Oh, well, before I forget, while you're here, Mr. Professor Goodfields, now would be a good time for me to mention, I am, gonna be hosting a little, giveaway for, a $60 game code to whatever platform you so choose. Just give my page a follow. And then send me a DM on Twitter or something, just to know if you're interested, because I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but I can understand that not everyone's gonna be available, or rather, not everyone might be around for whenever I stream. So what I'm thinking is I'll just get everyone to DM me, and then I'll put those names in a hat or whatever. But yeah, just if you're interested.
And thus simply destroying the existing stores of Black Rose would do little to alter fate's course.
Does the code expire? Because I don't currently have a PC. So I thought originally that I should give out a game, like a specific game, but I was like, well, what if someone doesn't have a PC, or they have an Xbox or a PS4 or a PS5, right? So it's literally just gonna be like a $60 code for whatever, like Steam or like PSN or Xbox or whatever. So you could just choose whatever game you want. but there's no rush on that. Just I don't know when I'm gonna do it yet, but I hopefully sometime soon, because it was supposed to be for when I reached 50 followers, and I've gone past that just a smidge, but just because I couldn't figure out the details of it. But yeah, it's literally, it's just like whatever. It's like a $60 code to whatever system you want.
Together with the Exarch, we've developed a theory as to how we believe the rejoining will be set in motion. I'm sure Urianger himself will cover the subject in more detail.
They haven't even spoken to each other, but they know
that both worlds, the Source and the First, be facing an existential threat. One being Sin Eaters, of course.
Okay.
They are a menace that I would dearly love to remove, and not just to avert a calamity. I may be a stranger to this world, but I will not stand idly by and let innocent people be slaughtered. That is what brought me to the gates of Yulmore. Ignoring its pretensions as a kind of capital city to what remains of the world, it is nonetheless a center of power and authority. If any solutions are to be found, I believe our search should begin there. What say you, old friend? Hungry for another adventure?
Heck yeah.
And so we take to the road once more.
I had to look up, actually, like I had to figure out, make sure that doing a giveaway like this on Twitch was legal. And as long as you guys aren't paying for entries, I think it's fine. I mean, following is free, so definitely not gonna charge anybody for that. Especially not with like giveaways being such a hot debate lately with the artesian build scandal. That one makes me sad, because it sucks already, like having like it sucks already trying to build a name for yourself out there just because of the influx of streamers, and just to have someone call you out on it. It's like, ah, yeah, you don't have a big enough following. That's just such a shitty take, you know. If we time our arrival just right, you may be lucky enough to see why I have yet to set foot in Yulmore, despite my best efforts to do so. Come, from here we must head west and then cross a small bridge. Alright, we're gonna go to... I'll pay to win, if you know what I mean. Legally, I have to say no purchase necessary. Yeah, I just thought it'd be fun. Shit. Allegedly, yeah, allegedly. Are those? Oh, those are just chameleons. Jesus Christ, I'm like traumatized. So I was playing Elden Ring, and like, an enemy type showed up that I was not expecting to show up in the game. And it freaked me the fuck out. You hate that word? Allegedly? How often does it come up that you have grown a hatred towards it? Calusia seems peaceful, does it not? Almost familiar. I had a similar impression of the Crystarium. Even in this distant world, people are much the same. To think that whenever a calamity struck the source, a reflection such as this one, with all its culture and history, was being erased from existence. You say it because you never hear it? Oh, okay. Okay, I don't really work in an industry that would cause that to come up. Luckily. Oh jeez. Just one of those you can put at the end of every sentence. Fair enough. Like, indeed. I am guilty of using a lot of... What are those called? Like, sentence fillers? You know, a lot of people will say, like, or whatever. Technically, yeah, there you go. That's one word. But yeah, I am guilty of using a lot of sentence fillers like that. Supposedly. These are all just adverbs, I think. My poor heart, thank you, young sir. Ah, there you are. In my haste, I lost my bearings. But I see you have the situation well in hand. Fine work. Are you all right, madam? Just a few bruises from where I fell, nothing compared to what was in store for me before this brave soul came to my rescue. I honestly thought I was done for. My feet are not as swift as they once were, and I knew there was no one left to hear me scream. Not that I let that stop me. I should probably leave my old house behind and queue up outside Yulmore with the rest of them. Doubt those fancy lords and ladies would welcome an old crone like me. Still, even a shack near the gate has to be safer than staying here. One would hope. Either way, I suggest you avoid wandering alone, lest you make the Sin Eater's task any easier. He's heartless. I'm just gonna start calling him Heartless from now on. Thank you again. You saved my life. Now I'm sure a strapping lad like you has little to fear, but I wouldn't linger long in this place. There's naught to be had here but cobwebs and memories. Can you play as old person in this game?
'Tis as the lady says, many in these parts have abandoned their homes to live in Yulmor's shadow. Should the heartless descend upon this region, there are precious few with the strength to fight them off. Replace all your ums and ahs with indeed, but say it with energy. Indeed! Like that. It's kind of funny. Speaking of which, what have you been told of these monsters? I'm trying really hard not to, like, do it. I use like also. I just did it. Ah yes, Alice would be well qualified to speak on the subject. Compared with Amorang, Colusia is almost a haven, but as you saw, we cannot let our guard down. Had you arrived but a few moments later, the Sin Eaters would have claimed another victim. Still, we have won a small victory this time at least. Now, shall we press on? Knowing that there's gonna be like a Yorha event, I'm putting it in context to everything here. In terms of like atmosphere and like the way that the character's model stretch, like that lady from that last stream, scared the shit out of me. We need to return to where the road forks and follow the path that leads west. It might break the habit, I don't know, gotta have fun with it. It's true. It's true. Try to have some more confidence in the way that I speak. I think a lot of the time I do it when I'm thinking on the spot. It's hard, you know? It's just part of our language. But I think if I know where a sentence is gonna end, I can formulate my way there pretty easily. Or sometimes I'll just stop talking. I'll just not before I even open my mouth, I'll just not even speak. It's kind of the way that I've run things. There's another ether over there I can attune to. Might as well since it's just right over there. Something about how bright and colorful it is over there, but also really dreary. They have to run out of color palettes for like forests and grass fields soon. I feel you. My voice is very low. If I just speak with intent or care, or without intent or care, I tend to have the opposite because I work with I work in public service, so customer relations. There you go. Customer service. I forget what the umbrella term for it is. I work retail, but one of the jobs I have is retail, and so I tend to default to a higher pitch because of all my years of customer service. It just kind of defaults that way. And so, well, sometimes when I'm speaking to like one person, or if I catch myself, if I'm speaking at a low enough decibel, I guess, or rather, if I'm speaking, I guess kind of like now, you know, I tend to speak a little bit lower. Like this is, I would say this is more my natural voice, but more often than not, I tend to default to a higher pitch just because, you know, I gotta do my old people baby talk, you know. God forbid a service worker speaks to you in a normal tone. No, it's insane. I pray for you, brother, because I don't know how you do it, but make that money working retail. I've always argued that retail, I think, is necessary to one's growth and development, or at the very least not retail, but rather working any form of service industry job should be necessary. But I don't think you should stay there for very long because you grow cynical of the people around you, and you kind of tend to assume the worst out of
out of complete strangers, and that's a shitty feeling to have. I think that you should have at least a year or two working retail or any sort of customer service industry, just so that you know what it's like dealing with the general public, but also so that you get some work experience. You know, I've always argued that, you know how they do like volunteer work at the end of high school?
Is known as the Open Arms, and Yulmore itself lies beyond.
Like how at the end, like high school, I don't know if every high school does it, but I know my high school did, where we had to do volunteer hours.
This, meanwhile, is the aptly named Gate Town, the dwelling place of the many desperate souls who hope to be chosen to live in the city proper.
Hold on, let me finish this cutscene. Dang.
I thought I recognized you. Brought a new friend, eh?
Begrimed bloke. That's not the face I associated with that voice.
I'll bet you got a trick or two up your sleeve. Maybe even 3. Care to show me?
You? Stranger danger. You literally have swords, my
He's not
guy.
here to compete. Leave him be.
I will compete with him.
What? I was only making conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please!
My first jobs were grocery store and restaurant work for like 5 to 6 years. It's funny how a lot of restaurant or food service industry people will look at retail and go, nah, couldn't be me. I don't know how retail people do it. Because retail people will look at restaurant and food service industry people and go, holy shit, I couldn't even imagine being in that position. I like the mutual understanding that we both have shitty jobs. And I like the mutual respect of like saying that the other person that probably has it worse. I can guarantee that we were both in the same boat. It's funny because like I have a coworker that used to work in a restaurant, and my friend's significant other. I like their outfit. My friend's significant other works food service, or has worked food service, and has always seen retail as too hectic for him. But I've always looked at food service and went, you know, retail in comparison, because at the very least you're not like dealing with somebody's food. I think a lot more people get agitated if pants come up to the register with the wrong price. We can just get the right price for them. But rather, if someone brings you the wrong food or charges you for the wrong thing, it's just kind of game over. You know, that's what it always feels like to me. And I'm sure it's not like that, because I've definitely been given the wrong meal, and they just kind of, oh, well, here you go. Here's the right food. You can just keep the other one. I remember I went to a restaurant, they straight up gave me the wrong food, and I was too awkward to tell them otherwise, so I just ate it. And then they came up to me after I finished it, they're like, oh, was that not what you ordered? And I go, I don't think so. And they're like, oh, okay, so they made me another one, and, and they put it in a to-go box, so I just had a free food. A lady of distinction?
We seek a master culinarian who can guarantee seafood perfection. Dazzle the matron with your delicious dishes, and life in the city will be yours to enjoy. Even on days when fish is not on the menu.
Definitely gives you perspective, absolutely.
Who among you will answer the call? Name yourself or another. We may not at all.
I was a cook and a dishwasher, so I never had to meet my customers, so I can just give it my best without any hassle. I think
Yulmore was a center of power and authority.
I think that
Well, that is not the only reason for its
that
fame.
makes that would like terrify me. Could not be a server. I think any single part of working in a restaurant, whether it's whether as a cook, whether to bus, I can't. I'm looking at it and like I try very hard to make sure the waiters don't feel rushed when they come up to my table, because from a retail worker perspective, I understand, and so I try very hard to make sure that they don't ever feel like they have to please me or whatever. I just kind of give them the look of like, don't worry, I get it. I know that, you know, you don't have to, you know.
It is also known as the City of Final Pleasures. The noble and the wealthy who survived the flood gathered here to live out the rest of their days in decadent abandon.
Unless there's like one moment where I straight up was just displeased with the way where they didn't even try. Where they gave us the wrong food. They took forever to get to our table, and it wasn't even that busy. It was just like me, and it was just us and I want to say maybe 3 other tables. And it's not like they were having huge meals either. It was me and one other person at our table, and all the other tables were also just couples. And we just ordered like a plate of fries, I think, and it took forever. And we ordered something else, and they never even gave it to us. And we just asked for the check, and they were like, "Oh, you never got your food, huh?" I said, "Yeah." They're like, "Do you still want it?" And we're like, "Sure." And they gave us the check instead. I said, "Okay, I don't want it." And we were like, "Do you want it still?" And I'm like, "Well, no, you never gave it to us." They didn't charge it for it. They didn't charge us for it, obviously, but it was just really weird.
A poor man could sooner pass through the Iron Needle than Eulmore's gates. The only way the common folk can enter this perverted paradise is if they fulfill the whim of one of the privileged. And so they are picked over like market produce.
That's pretty weird. I think we chalked it up.
We'll not be throwing this one back.
We chalked it up to it was late in the night and she was probably almost off, and so she probably had a big long day. So even getting the shitty service coming from like retail workers, we both were just like saying, "I'm sure there must be a reason why." But that still was still good and discounted. It was still pretty crap service, but it was one time out of the many times I've been to that restaurant. I've been to that restaurant many times, and I never had someone like that, and I haven't even seen them since. Maybe they just kind of were there temporarily, or they were just not having a good day. Regardless, we both kind of just acknowledged that was terrible, but here's your tip. Just kind of like, whatever.
All too obvious charms, we welcome you with open arms. Come, join us in the city of splendor and live out your life in an ecstasy of endeavor.
And that's why everyone needs to work the service industry. Like you said, I honestly absolutely think instead of volunteering, I think that you should be required to get a service industry job right out of high school. Because think about it. And I feel like I've said this multiple times already, that I think it needs to be an idea that needs to happen. And so far I haven't found any faults to it. So if there's something, then let me know. But I think that it gives you the experience to deal with the public. It gives you work ethic. That the same thing that volunteering would do. It's just job experience, right? You could put that on as a resume. Job experience. And also, if you're going to be working a job while you're in high school, you're going to be making money so that you know what that's like, so that when you actually go out from high school and you get like a real job, then you have the job experience, you have the knowledge of like how to handle money, how to keep money, how to save money, and it gives you a bit of spending money right out of high school, especially since senior year. I remember senior year is when they started like throwing out, oh, you can go to prom, or you can go to homecoming, and we also have yearbooks, and we also have grad night. Grad night was like $500, and my friend who had a job at the time working at the local amusement park was able to pay that off pretty easily. But me not having a job, I had to ask my parents for money, and I didn't think about it at the time, but that is like a lot of money. That's like an entire PS5 save money. I know, right? I know when I first got my job, the first thing I did was buy something stupid.
share of meal to celebrate our newest resident.
That's just an ass. That's a booty.
For you.
Literally a butt. It's like even it's not even like shaded to be anything other than a butt.
Meal is a foodstuff which Yulmore routinely doles out to the people of Gatetown, and apparently a staple for its citizens as well. Many here rely on it to survive in these times of scarcity. Yet the whole arrangement just seems...
It's like weird food stuff. It's not even... It's shaped like a butt.
Well, let's just say it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
He's had some, I guess. What was that? Anyway. Yeah, abolish the whole volunteer service work. Cause does every high school have some sort of like campus store that exists? You know, I think so. Cause I know we had one at our school, and it was considered an elective, which means you take it instead of a class. But I feel like if you're gonna be working a booth like that, then you might as well be getting paid. Looks like a butt, but probably tastes like a melon. I was thinking of that too, like a cantaloupe. I understand why my attempt to enter the city have thus far come to naught. The dubious privileged residency must be won via a contest with ever-changing rules. They say this policy has been in place for the past 2 decades, ever since Yulmore's current ruler came into power. Yet from what I have seen, it does more harm than good. Not only does it distract people from our shared struggle against the Sin Eaters, it robs them of their self-sufficiency. I have tried to propose ways they could improve their lot, but my words invariably fall on deaf ears. Their attitude is so entrenched now, I worry that, well, mayhap you should take a turn around Gatetown and judge that situation for yourself. Go talk. I knew it. It's starting to get samey, some of the delivery methods of this story. Like, the overarching story is still pretty interesting to me, but I think the whole go slay these 3 rats and go talk to these 4 NPCs, a bit old. Still here, are ya? Can't blame you for wanting a slice of Yulmore's pie. If you ask me, you should ditch that sour-faced brat and make a home for yourself here. Gatetown's not much to look at, but at least it's safe. And the mule is the best thing I've ever tasted. It's the best thing he's ever tasted. Double cheeked up on a Thursday evening. Double cheeked up on a Tuesday afternoon. The sun's still out. That's my favorite part. The sun's still out. Large pot bubbles over the flame. Pale chunks, mule, you realize, float in the otherwise plain broth. God. I'd be cranking brain power and burn this content up. So you play 14, or did you just happen upon my stream? Can't care about the story? Oh, really? I love the story so far. My friend kind of just ran past the story, and he told me he didn't even know what the characters. You have played it? Okay. How far did you get? You finished it? Just look at it. Can you imagine a more beautiful city? He's looking this way? Every day I dream of the life that waits for me inside those walls. No, you didn't finish. Oh, how far did you get? Oh, will they ever pick me? Look at all those ships over there. Level 50. Oh, you did the, did you do the free trial quest or something? Yeah, I think level 50 would be the end of the base game. I promise you it gets a lot more interesting than that.
I think the base game gets a lot of flack because it's not nearly as interesting as all the other parts, but I think playing it through sequentially. No, you bought the whole thing. Oh yeah. I know that I didn't know that there was gonna be post-patch quests, and I could actually have finished the entirety of Heavensward, and I assume post-Heavensward also. But I just finished. I finished A Realm Reborn, and I immediately bought it, and I'm good for the next few months. I'm very into the game. My barrier is a good enough PC. Ah, fair enough. I have a 1060 and it runs fairly well. My sister says it is good enough for the saving money. Fair enough. You see what Gatetown has to offer? These people can no longer fend for themselves. They become dependent on handouts of Mule and believe Yulmore is the answer to all their woes. Yet no matter how I frame my encouragement, they seem unwilling. They are unable to conceive of any other way of life. Hey, finally. Get my ninja up to level 80 and I can play as my Gunbreaker again. But yes, I think that it's a pretty interesting game, and I knew that my main motivation for it would be the story, so I'm trying to pace myself, but also not go so slow. But I also knew that I needed to pay attention. Dragoon is king. I heard the Dragoon didn't get anything in Endwalker, so that's why and also I think actually that's not true. I just saw Gunbreaker first, really, before I saw Dragoon. Oh wait, no, Dragoon is the advanced form of Lancer, right? Yeah, maybe. It's a still king by design. Fair enough. It's cool, definitely cool. I know that when I played the game the first time, not on this account but on a separate account, I did play as a Lancer. But this time I knew I wanted to play as a character from Limsa Lominsa, and so my pool of choices was a little bit limited. So I went with a rogue, and ninja's pretty fun. It's difficult to make a final judgment without first seeing the city's inner workings. Mayhap it is that uncertainty which always makes me feel so ill at ease here. His outfit's kinda boring compared to Alisaie, but maybe that's just because I have the same coat. Not that it matters. However unjust the system seems to be, if these people claim to be content with their lot, it's hardly my place to criticize their choices. But take that elderly lady you rescued. Is it not seen that those who have chosen to forego Yulmore's largesse are doomed to suffer for their independence? In the end, they are all but forced to seek refuge in Gatetown, and so hamlets and fields across the island are left empty and untended, hastening the region's descent into ruin. You're also into GW2 balance? What's that? Balance could be hard. Nah, I'm not convinced that Yulmore's generosity truly serves the best interests of Calusia's people. Guild Wars 2. Oh, great, yes, I've heard of that. My brother is trying to get me into Destiny. And I wanna play it because he seems to be really into it, and also I wanna support because his girlfriend works at Bungie, but I just can't get into it, and also I got my hands full with this MMO already. I'm not so naive as to think there is some miraculous solution to all of this, yet I cannot help but frown at the sight of hard-working villagers struggling to survive, even as the chosen few rejoice at being plucked from poverty by the hand of a capricious noble. I don't think I played Guild Wars. I did play Path of Exile. I know those are two different games, but every time I hear those names, those are the words that come up in my head. Path of Exile, Guild Wars. There has to be a better way. I will not know for sure, however, until I have taken those long-delayed steps through Yulmore's gates.
'Tis fortunate that you arrived when you did, Sora. I've been working on a scheme to insinuate myself into the city, and if all goes to plan, it should soon come to fruition. Shooting is fun. I don't really get tired of Destiny, not gonna lie, it's fun as fuck. Poe is cool. I'm bad at shooters. That's my excuse. There is a beast tribe who makes its home in the seas surrounding the island. The Ondo, they are called. Though you and I know them as the Sahagin. For the most part, they keep to themselves in their ocean grottos and rarely have dealings with land dwellers. They nailed the shooting for me. I never realized that Poe, you could read Path of Exile as Poe. Yeah, like, the shooting is fun, it's just that I've always just been really bad at first-person shooters. It's super satisfying. As Tatara took such great pains to impress upon me during our stay in Kugane, business favors the bold, so I've reached out to them. I duly discovered that the Ondo are inordinately fond of land-grown produce, fresh fruits in particular. And when I offered to procure such goods for them, they promised to pay me in pearls. An attractive business venture for any prospective investor, would you not agree? Surely even the most jaded Yulmoran lord would have time for a merchant who can make pearls from plums and pumpkins. Like, it's fun what little I've played of it, and my sister's really trying to get me into Destiny also. I think I've had this conversation with them a lot, which is like, I didn't quite understand the way the whole vaulting of content works, and so it just kind of hit my ear wrong. So I'm trying to understand what that means for someone that has not played Destiny. Like, what does it mean when the content is vaulted? Like, do I just straight up not have access? Like, you know, is it gonna come back and rotate? You know, is what I was trying to get at, and I don't know what goes on. Wait, they vault content in Destiny 2? Yes, I've come a long way since my days of buying samurai swords without first negotiating price. That's lame as fuck. Oh, did you not know? So there was an issue with the way that because the game would load. That's what the excuse was the idea that the game would take forever to load because it was loading everything in. I didn't know that either, as I don't have a console either. Oh, I see. Yeah, Destiny. I mean, Destiny's fun. It's just that I wasn't a fan of the whole idea of vaulting content, and they mentioned it was because of loading issues, but I don't know the internal workings of I don't know the internal workings of development, but I kind of just took it as each area has to do with the balance patching, and instead of balancing that area to keep up with the current meta of the game, just get rid of it. You know, just take away all the weapons that you can get from it, and just kind of like let it rot until we can get around to it. And so I'm hoping that at some point that everything gets unvaulted and they bring everything back. But it sounds to me like they're just gonna constantly rotate between, you know, areas here and there, and I don't know if I was a huge fan of that. I did think it was lame also, but my brother was trying to explain it to me how it works, and I don't get it. Because to me, it sounded like if 14 did the same thing, it felt like if one day they just got rid of one of the patches, like one of the post-patch areas, and just replaced it with something new, it would feel jarring to me. I've come a long way since my day of buying samurai swords without first negotiating price. That's true, that was literally the last thing he did. Now he's over here with money. Interesting. Indeed, I don't like that, may not play it anymore. You know, I mean, I think that they are trying to work on making sure that all the content comes back out eventually. Warframe is better anyway. That's what I hear. The competitors have always been Warframe versus Destiny, and you know, I haven't played enough of either to give my full opinion on it. I will say that both of them play very fun. If I were to get into a shooter, I think that it's really fun. But right now, even if I did like it, I'm already too deep. I'm already waist deep in FF14 to try out another MMO. 2,300 hours, don't lie.
God, I wish. I can barely get out of the tutorial. Alright, let's pick some fruit with Alphino. Excellent. I should be glad of your... Full glad am I to have your company. First things first, then we must pay a visit to Mosha Moa, my supplier in right. Come, it is just to the northwest of here. I think I made it out to my ship, and then I just... stopped playing the game. Is that guy gonna try to finesse our pearl making business? Our pearl selling business. Meanwhile, let's check my game time here. 14. Playtime total 21 days, 5 hours, 19 minutes. That's what, 400 or 509 hours total. It's a grinder's game, and me like you to grind video game. Yeah. I mean, look no further than an MMO if you're looking to grind shit out. FF14 was also my very first MMO, and so I was kind of surprised at how much of it was focused on making it a single-player experience. Also, I was fully expecting more multiplayer aspects of it to occur. Just the fact that I barely hang out with people here, and most of the community is just in this little box right here. It's a pretty interesting way to go, if I'm honest. I was fully expecting there to be more cooperative measures, but I guess I understand that I understand that for a game this big, and if you want a game to last, you can't really rely on other people like that, you know? Hold on, I need to turn off, my... when the sun sets, Is Path of Exile an MMO? I don't think so. Not in the traditional sense. Like it's more akin to Diablo, from what I've been told. I mean, at the end of the day, anything you could argue that any multiplayer game is an MMO because it's, you know, if it's popular enough and there's enough of a community built around it. You know, I mean, I'm playing this is technically an MMO, but I haven't seen a player character in a while, you know. Is there something I can do for you, friend? Good day to you, Mosha Moa, this is my associate. I loaded your lackey up with the goods not long ago. Oh, I knew it. Took my fucking fruits. If this charlatan was here not long ago, he cannot have gone far. We should split up and search the area. You find a vantage point of the south side town, and I shall take the west. Let's go kill this guy. Like, broad genre definitions is very broad, I guess. Like the fact that RPG is a game genre still baffles me, because what does that even mean? You could argue that most games are an RPG, and there's not really a hard set design to figure out what constitutes an RPG, other than you just know how it feels. Male mistel. Execute? Any sign of him? Let us move in before he makes good his escape. Let's go kick his ass.
There you are. The thief who claims the harvest on my behalf. Hand it over.
Well, forgive me. I have to get into the city. I have no family, and all my friends have already been chosen.
Not
No
my
one here
problem.
gives a damn about me. Look, when the meal gets handed out, I'm lucky if I get a smell of it.
Mule. Mule. Ew, I hate that.
No matter what I do, they won't call out my name. I'm so tired. I'm so bloody hungry. I thought maybe I could steal your idea. Get in that way.
What is your name?
Kai Shear.
Tell me then, Kai Shear. Must it be Yulmore or nothing? What of the Christerium? They may not offer charity, but you would be fairly compensated for any work you did.
No, it has to be Yulmore. That's where all my friends are. We made a promise that we'd live together in paradise.
He's thinking about it.
I was to make my deal with the Ondo at the Clave. Listen carefully, and I shall tell you my plans for the business, and how best to arouse the Yulmorans' interest.
Ugh.
You'll give me your place? Just like that?
I'm giving you a chance, nothing more. What comes of it is entirely up to you.
I understand. Oh, thank you, thank you!
Of course he would. I do gotta get to bed. Gotta be up early, and it's 11. So I'm finna peace out. Nice chatting with you. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Again, yeah. Just if you want to be part of that giveaway, hit that follow and send me a
This
DM
was but
on
one
Twitter.
path. There will be
I think the
others.
links are in my bio. So,
But for young Kai Shear, it was the difference
but
between
yes,
life
get some
and
rest.
death.
Thank you. Appreciate you chatting with me. Hopefully, I can catch you on the next stream.
I do not regret my decision. Yet I will admit that a part of me wonders if it was for the best.
I gotta figure out a way to get the. Hell yeah, man.
We strive
Thank
to
you.
bring swift salvation to this world. That countless lives might be saved, not least your own. Even if it came at the cost of one man, should I have forged on regardless? I suppose not. Were Estinian here, he would most likely scoff at my soft-heartedness.
Same old Alfino, ever the slave to sentiment.
Oh boy.
But I thank you for your kind words nonetheless. Let us see to it that both these stories have a happy ending. Shall we return to Wright then? Is that... I can't be sure, but I think someone's in trouble.
Is that Huryange?
Come on, they may need our help.
I gotta figure out to get all my old Streamlabs settings on OBS, because I'm supposed to have like notifications on for whenever someone I think I have sound notifications as like a thing that you can get from my channel, but you can't do anything with it right now because the sounds don't work. So I gotta get rid of those until I get those set up again, which is unfortunate, but yeah, what I really want to do is I want to figure out how Stream Elements works, because right now I try to download it and it wouldn't work. Also, considering Stream Elements is where my store is at, it'd be nice to get that streaming software running, because I don't know, it looked pretty easy to use. It's just I'd have to download something else for it. It's crazy how everything just feels off, even to the color of the grass. Whoever they got designing these worlds and also just figuring out just color schemes, it's crazy. Oh, it's just some guy. Never mind. I saw white hair and I just assumed. That should take care of the worst of his injuries. Mercy, I beg you. Breathe easy, sir. No harm will come to you here. Oh no, stop me before I do the British accents again. This poor man is shivering. Pray keep an eye on him while I get a fire going. In the daytime? Oh right, I forgot the sun doesn't set here. I was wondering. I thought for certain I was dead. How am I ever to repay this kindness? We'll settle for the tale behind your current predicament. Why don't you begin by telling us your name? I can't remember. Tristal. I was invited into Yulmore to work as an artist. For real? A wealthy couple took me in to paint pictures for them, but when my style proved contrary to their taste, they just as quickly turfed me out onto the street. I was left penniless and patronless, a grave sin in Lord Vothry's city. Within days, they had brought me before the man himself, and he asked me what I meant to do. Dejected as I was, I told him that I wished to leave. Little did I know how soon he would grant me my wish. They flung me over the balustrade into the goddamn ocean. From up there, how were you not dashed to pieces? Don't ask me. Luck, I suppose. Though if you hadn't found me when you did, it wouldn't have counted for much. Monstrous. And the citizens condone such barbaric punishment? Oh, without a second thought. When Lord Vothry passes judgment, no one so much as blinks, let alone argues. In Yulmore, his word is law. I like the way that Alphino is sitting.
Ah, that fire's chased the chill from my bones. The more I hear about Yulmore, the more determined I am to see what waits within its walls. I shall bend all my thoughts towards securing another way into the city. There must be something we can do. But first, we should convey Tristal to the shelter of the village. Fire or no fire, he needs to be out of this chilly coastal air. Fire, way into the city. I don't like that everyone's still everything here is still trying to kick my ass, despite the fact that I should be a high enough level from it. How much further do I go for? Quite a while, huh? These quests are long, and they're fine. That's fine. Pray, accept my deepest gratitude. I owe you both my life. And if you'll permit me, I would assist you in your attempt to enter Yulmore, insofar as I am able, at any rate. To be frank, the thought of sending my saviors into that awful place makes me sick to the stomach. But since it's plain you've set your minds on it, you should take this. A key. It's my favorite paintbrush. The Yulmoran elite are never satisfied until they get exactly what they want. And if I'm not mistaken, the couple I mentioned will be looking for someone to replace me. If you make a show of owning such a well-used brush, you may be able to convince people you have a talent for painting. Are you certain? This is your livelihood. We cannot deprive you of such a treasured possession. I give it gladly after all you've done for me. Besides, I can't. I don't think I have the heart to paint anymore. That sucks. As to what I'll do instead, I honestly haven't decided. But I shan't stay long in this place, not with that city brooding over me. Nay, I'll move on to new lands and a new profession, and I'll keep you in my prayers from now until my dying day. Cool. They say kindness is its own reward, but Tristal has repaid us with a gift as timely as it was unexpected. We will, however, need to act upon his advice before another painter steps in to fill the vacancy. Thankfully, I do have some modest skills I just remembered this fucking painting of Yotsu and, or rather, Gosetsu and, oh god, what's her name? Not Yotsu, the other one. Yugiri. Thankfully, I do have some models. Nothing approaching that of a true artist, of course, but enough to play the role, I would hope. As for you, well, if you don't mind taking a subordinate role, mayhap you could pose as my assistant? Yeah. All we need to do now is return to Gate Town and await the next appearance of those vile jesters. I didn't even meet the Sahagin. They just decided that I wasn't gonna meet them. Definitely wanna do the event quest. So I think once I'm done with the Alpha No quest, I'm gonna turn it off and do all those. Not that I don't want to stream it, but rather, it is still kind of my comfort game also, just, you know,
It's nice to do things off camera. Something that I've struggled with, and as my friends get into the streaming thing, because I've been doing this streaming thing for a long time, and it took a long time to learn a lot of lessons when it comes to streaming, and part of it has to do with the idea of being entertaining, even when you don't feel like being entertaining. It does take quite a lot out of you. It's such a fun prospect, you know, being a streamer, but it is kind of taxing, if I'm honest. There's certain parts of it that I just there's still certain parts of it that I just don't enjoy, but there is still part of it that I just definitely do enjoy. Today's the idea of playing video games for an audience is really cool to me, and the fact that I can record all this for later is also good to me, you know? It's just that there's some parts of it that I also detest, like the idea of forcing yourself to be a personality or in a condition that you're not currently feeling, you know? What a day it's been for the folks at our door. We've welcomed the peddler who made pearls from a plum, and now we've a place for a painter of a plum. So come along and don't be slow, it's time to let your colors show. I can paint. Portraits at least. Landscapes and still lifes are so rarely commissioned these days. Oh, I thought I spied some new faces in the crowd. What fortunate you should feel at ease around an easel. What proof have you of your prowess? Any masterpieces on your person? I should show them my picture of Gosetsu. Sadly not, everything I paint is soon sold. Such is the life of a working artist. I have only my brush to testify for me, though you will note that it has seen no small amount of service. Ah, ho ho, Flecks of paint both old and new. A tool much loved and much used. Not a prop to be conjured on the hop. Very well. Come with us and we'll put those talents to the test. And who is this hanger-on? A well-wisher or parasite? Why, this is my assistant, he whose unfailing support allows my art to flourish. I will go with him or not at all. Not at all. A parasite, then. We shall leave his fate in the hands of your new employer. It matters not a whit to us. And having filled our latest vacant space, we retire to yield more sweet embrace. Oh, mercy me, the mule! We almost took our leave without leaving a loving token. The mule. We must empty the sacks ere we make our way back. The mule. I hate that it's just pronounced meal, but it's pronounced meal. I never even considered that. That sounds awful. It's shaped like a butt. Did you have to put the butt in the middle?
Redemption is beyond us. The lament of all but saints and fools, and the comfort of the lords and ladies of this accursed place. Once they held fast against the madness, only to embrace the coming cataclysm and delight in the end of days. Perhaps in rapture they seek to lose themselves and the misery they share. Or perhaps for them alone, the promise of eternal pleasure really does hold true.
Jesus. Welcome, welcome to the city's final pleasures. Feel free to weep at its magnificence. No, not even a single tear? Moving right along then. Where can I put my Poogie? Our first task is to register you as residents. You know, make it all nice and official. We'll smooth the way, so you just need to put on your happy faces and head through the joyous hall. The Bureau of Immigration is in the first room on the left side of the passage. Declare your name and occupation in a nice loud voice. The clerks will tell you where to go from there. Oh, speaking of which, I was trying to look at Aperture Desk Job or whatever. I'll play that this weekend. Oh, and pay no mind to those folk off to the side of the road. Much like the hopefuls in Gate Town, they haven't earned the right to enter the city proper. If, however, you enjoy basking in the envy of your fellow man, then by all means, take your time. But why waste another moment? Go, enjoy the beginning of your new life in paradise. Calling it now. We're gonna meet that guy that took our pearls, and all his friends are shitty. The Bureau of Immigration, was it? I suppose we had better show ourselves willing for the time being. What if I leave? What if I just leave? I wonder if there's any jump puzzles in this game also. In this part of the game, rather. Are these just cells? Oops. Wow. Hey, some other people. Oh. Fine. That sound effect was so late. This feels so crazy. Welcome to you, more fortunate friends. May I have your names? I am Alphinote, an artist, and this is Sora, my assistant. Ah, yes, I was informed of your imminent arrival. We can forego the usual interview and begin processing your registration papers forthwith. Now, the citizens of Yormore are divided into two classes. There are the free, who are blessed with the favor of Lord Vothry, and the bonded, who work in the employ of the free. You will be joining the ranks of the bonded. Your duties are to serve as a patron in the capacity for which you were chosen. In your case, painting pretty pictures. Should your patron dismiss you for any reason, you must find another sponsor among the free, or accept work as a general laborer. I see. And might you tell us something of the patron we are to serve? Two patrons, actually. China's and Dulia Chai, a Mistel couple whom the most refer to as the Chais. They are both gentle souls, but I would ask that you conduct yourself with respect and humility for your own sake as much as theirs. Now, a moment please, while I complete the relevant paperwork. I like his coat. All in order. These are your registration documents. Take those papers next door and submit them to the clerk. Once they've been stamped, you will officially be Yulmoran citizens. Enjoy your new life in paradise. Ugh. You know it's a bad place to live if they have to constantly keep reminding you. Welcome to the Bureau of Registration. Papers, please. What have we here? Alphino artist, Sora, artist assistant, to be employed in the service of Lord Chai Nuz and Lady Dulia Chai. Yes, everything seems to be in order. Your registration is hereby approved. I think it best that we deliver you to the Chai residence before. Oh dear. You smell hideous. Did you crawl here through a ditch? It's like an unholy miasma of dust and sweat and the musk of some unwashed beast. Proceed directly to the delousery next door and scrub yourselves clean. Use whichever showers are free. After you've rinsed away that stench, you'll want to splash yourselves with this perfume liberally. Once you've made yourself presentable, then you may proceed to the Chai residence. Cornen, the guard by the stairs, will give you directions. Cool. I hadn't realized we were so aromatic. I'm like literally getting so sleepy. What's going on with me? I haven't felt like this in a long time. Alright. Alright, Alphino. Take it off. Hot, steamy shower scene with the Warrior of Light. You've risen yourself clean in the stream of water. Put on the same dirty clothes. Could I change? I should be able to change here, right? Oh yeah, I'll put this on. Now we can be matching. There you go.
apply the sweet-smelling perfume? Where is it? Maybe I should have drawn the curtains. Is that a dude? Where? Oh, wait. Damn it. Delicate scent of roses fills the air. Is it not? That is to say, it seems rather exposed for one's ablutions, is it not? Fine, just a quick rinse then. One would think that Alphino would love showers. Ever meet someone that hates showers? You avoid those people. Well, that was bracing. I believe the lingering smells of the road have been successfully expunged. Shall we go and present ourselves to our new patrons then? Now we got matching outfits, buddy. You're looking to present yourselves to the Chais, are you? Let me explain how the city's laid out then. Imagine 3 layers, one on top of the other. This layer here is called the buttress. Above us is the understory, where the military has its headquarters, and above that you've got the canopy, which is where the free citizens of Yulmore spend their days. So you want to find your new patrons, you'll need to keep climbing until you run out of stairs. And look for the Grand Dame's parlor. They'll be in there like as not. Oh boy. Should not have ran ahead. I'm literally gonna fall asleep. Not because it's boring, but because, I don't know, maybe I'm just like sleep deprived. To be fair, I didn't think I was gonna be here right now anyway. I thought my shift was much later in the day. I wasn't planning on streaming today. It's still not as worse as when I just started talking to myself the other day.
Oh, who's this then?
Lord and Lady Chai, pray forgive our intrusion. I am given to understand you were in search of an artist.
Ah, you must be the new,
Drawer!
Oh, goodness me. What an adorable boy. That silken hair, those pearly cheeks. Oh, and you even smell wonderful, like a bed of flowers. I approve of this one, dearest. I am positive he will paint us the most delightful pictures.
Yes. Well, as long as he paints better than that talentless wretch we sent packing last week.
myself, you know, if it please you, my lady. And this is my assistant.
Okay.
Your assistant? I've heard of folk bringing in family members, but this seems a bit irregular. Aren't you a little young to have a protege?
We are family in all but name, my lord. Though we share no blood, we have stood by each other through life's many challenges, resolved to prevail together or not at all. Of all people, 'tis he who best understands my work. With his unique insight guiding my hand, the art I create is sure to satisfy your expectations. Once the picture is begun, of course, I shall have no need of constant encouragement. And so I wondered, rather than him being in your way, might it then be permissible for my assistant to explore the city he has so longed to see? Out of gratitude for his priceless contribution to my art, I thought it only fair that I make this humble request on his behalf.
Did you ever hear of such devotion? Of course your assistant must have his wish. He shall be free to roam to his heart's content. Isn't that right, darling?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course, dearest. Quite right.
Like, sound effects are, like, not hitting the same point. I saw a tweet the other day remarking how I miss when artists used to keep art. I'm sorry, I miss when wealthy people used to keep artists around as pets. Now you have the opportunity to experience Jewel more. I suggest you make the most of it. Explore the city top to bottom. In other words, I would start with a canopy and go from there. Try wandering around the market stalls, perhaps. Such places are usually filled with colorful characters, only too eager to share local gossip with a friendly visitor. I would appreciate it, of course, and if you could share any discoveries with me in turn. We should both learn as much as possible about our new place of residence. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, actually. I will be right back. I'm not even gonna do my whole... Actually, I can't do that. Be right back. I have returned. Okay. Also, apologize if you hear the sounds of munching and crunching. Thought it'd be a good time for me to feed my dogs. So I went and just got them their food ready and set up. Anyway. They could hear... I closed the door and they could hear me, I guess, preparing it and like heating it up and stuff. And I just hear them very quietly through the door. Like, who else am I gonna be making this food for? It's yours. A fresh registrar, you seem a little lost. Well, it's lovely to make your acquaintance. Speaking of acquaintances, you wouldn't happen to have run into my attendant on your wanderings, would you? Big, strong lad, long hair, tied back. He was escorting me on a shopping errand when I realized I dropped my handkerchief, and I've been waiting here all alone while he's been off searching for it. I'm not terribly fond of being alone. If you do see him, I would be obliged if you could pass on this message. Forget the silly handkerchief and return to my side at once. He's probably down below. He's probably just hiding. Oh, wait. Good, you finished? You guys can say hi to my dogs. This is the first one. Hi, puppy. Did you like your food? Did you like your food? Okay. Go down there. She doesn't want. The other one does not want. Coco, on the bed. Good girl. Okay. Alright. My friend likes to send me TikToks of my dog. Just like anytime she sees a dog that looks like what my old dog looks like. Oh my god, he almost fell. Jesus Christ. Attendants to retainers. Wicked white, that was too close. He's got Lord Hien's here. Thank you, friend. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't come along. I was trying to rescue my lady's handkerchief, you see. The wind must have blown it over the edge, but luckily it caught on something. I thought if I could just stretch out far enough. It's not just a scrap of cloth. Not if it belongs to her. I would risk my life and more to spare my mistress but a single moment of sadness. Look at him, he's fucking tired. When I first came to Yulemoor, I thought only of improving my lot in life. But there was so much more to this city than wealth and plenty. There is no war here, no conflict. The residents all treat each other with warmth and respect. My mistress has been ever so kind to me, and I can think of no other place in Colusia where I could possibly be happier. Sorry, I must have gotten a bit carried away. I find it hard to stop when I start counting my blessings these days. Please, you should come with me to meet my lady. Once she hears of your deed, you'll be witness to her generosity firsthand. What? Lonely, you say? Curse my clumsy feet, I must return to her immediately. My attendant told me everything. I am so very grateful you were there to offer your assistance. As if he were a member of my own family. I could not live with the wonderful life I lead without him. We free citizens owe the bonded our unending gratitude.
Mayhap in another society, our different standing would breed prejudice or resentment, but in Yulmore, a most glorious measure is in place to avert such unpleasantness. Part of that measure requires that the free surrender their fortunes. Upon registration, all of our property, financial, intellectual, or otherwise, is given over to the city. In exchange, we are provided with ample funds and commodities to live a life of pampered luxury. Being liberated from the concern of earning coin has an almost miraculous effect on people's outlook. There are no rivals to compete against, only fellow residents with whom to enjoy our tranquil existence. Now, if you'll excuse us, I must see what the markets have to offer as a reward for the return of my handkerchief. Oh, and I've not forgotten you, of course, our courageous messenger turned rescuer. Oh, thanks. Thanks for the foot gear. All this talk of relying on the bonded, and I haven't given a thought as to what your duties might be. I hope I haven't interrupted your work unduly. A tour of the city, is it? Then you really must visit the beehive. It's always buzzing with activity. Local humor. Anyway, a lady by the name of Tista B, B.A., usually has her seat near the entrance. She will gladly speak with you on any number of topics, assuming you find yourself on her good side. Still don't like it. Sure, I'll get used to it, but ugh. Welcome to the beehive, my little drone. Seeking the sting of excitement to liven up your day? I can tell at a glance when folks are new to our happy colony. It's the nervous fluttering, you see, always gives them away. Why don't we play some cards to set you at ease, eh? A quick game of high or low. It's simply a matter of guessing who has the bigger hand. If you win, I'll grant you a single favor. Within reason, of course. Interested? Are you gonna play blackjack? Yeah, sure. No time like the present, I say. I bet it's rigged. 3 cards for you, 3 cards for me. You flip 1 of yours over, and I flip 2 of mine. Now, what's your call? Will your total be higher or lower than mine? Fuck. 2, 4, 7, plus 5 is 12. There could be an 8 under there. My cards add up to 21 and I have 6, 7. Okay. A total of 9. Cool. Is this a real minigame? Your guess was right. Usually I'd concede defeat at this point, but what do you say to a rematch? 1 more win and then we'll talk about that favor. Okay, this time it's gonna be rigged this time. My cards add up to 9, and you have... Yep. A total of 24. Cool. I thought for sure they were gonna play me, you know? Well, would you look at that. I think you've got a knack for this, newcomer. Victory's yours, as is the prize I promised. Lots of cat people here. I love being with my people. Come whisper in my ear then, and don't be shy. Tell old Tista what she can do for you. That's all. How delightfully wholesome. But if knowledge is what you want, then that is what you shall have.
In my humble estimation, the most wondrous thing about this town is how safe we are from the Sin Eaters. From the Heartless. They say Lord Varthry was born with the power to command them, which means no Yomoran need ever raise a weapon in defense of the city. Was that the kind of thing you wish to know? If your itch still needs scratching, you might get a few words out of the Atharn over there. There's not that Mary Sot likes more than the sound of his own voice. Let's do this too. Yeah. Okay. What's that? New to Yulmore, you say? Ah, only just arrived and already you're looking to peel away the layers of mystery. Oh, I'm all for chatting, but you need to slow down and enjoy life, my friend. I tell you what, you hop up on stage and give us a dance first, and then we can have a little talk. Oh boy, little cloud moment. Really? Can I do that? Fine. Now that was a show. You're welcome to clamber up on stage anytime you'd like. So what was it you wanted to ask me? Ah yes, something about our fair city. Well, I can tell you it wasn't always so peaceful as it is today. The Yomoran army may be the very essence of military might, but even our forces saw grievous losses in the war against the Sin Eaters. Things changed for us. Oh, around 20 years ago now, when the old ruler's son came to power. He's got this way with the Eaters, you see. Turns them docile as house cats. I wouldn't be exaggerating to say they become something of an ally to Yulmore. No longer an enemy to be feared. And yet elsewhere, there are still fools who insist on fighting their losing battles. Pah! A toast to Lord Varthry. Okay. Is that like a social feed? Or is that supposed to be like a itinerary? It looks like a social feed, but I think it might be an itinerary. Oh, you've returned from your jaunt around the city? So soon? You needn't have hurried back. Young Alphino has yet to put brush to canvas. One cannot rush good art, I'm told. Or good artists, apparently. Ah, finally. Oh. Oh. Ooh, look at him. I've put together an ensemble out of the garments he chose. Is this satisfactory? Oh, goodness gracious me, that last outfit was precious, but this makes you positively dashing. You truly are a handsome boy, however am I to decide. What happened to painting? I'm glad they gave him a new outfit, because that jacket was not doing it.
That lad is an artist, dear. It's not a dress-up doll. It's about time we set him to work for the reason we called him here. Must we? I do love a good painting, but I thought since we were enjoying ourselves so thoroughly. Well, I'd not. That is to say, as long as you... Ugh, just make sure you give the lad time to prepare. We know who'll be upset if he's not ready to paint at a moment's notice. Whatever you say, darling. So, shall we pick out some jewelry next? Sorry, my coworker just sent me it. Can we talk about rice for a second? Calrose rice is disgusting. Jasmine rice is a lot easier to work with. It's also like, I guess I should change also, huh? Should I change into my Heavensward outfit? I feel fancy. I should change into my Heavensward outfit. This is how I'm designing the shirts, by the way. My Heavensward outfit for this one. And then I have my, where is it? My, Stormblood outfit, which I didn't even really wear during Stormblood. And then I have my, this is supposed to be my Shadowbringers outfit. But I'll put this on because it seems fancier. Yeah, I'll put that on since it seems fancier. He looks simply precious in the more frilly fashions, but he seems the most comfortable in traveling wear. So I set out on his current wardrobe. It's not a common sight in Yulmore, and I can just imagine the heads turning as he strides through the crowd. I really must have your mentor concentrate on his art. Our anniversary will be upon us soon, and I promise to have a portrait to commemorate our union. Lady Shai has a very particular sense of beauty, and apparently that extends to how I should dress while I was painting. But this obsession of hers works in our favor. The time I spend indulging these distractions is time you can use to continue your explorations. For this excursion, I'd like you to delve into the layer below us and sniff about the military headquarters. I'm sure the understory has its own tale to tell. Let me attune to the Aetheryte, please. Anyhow. Jasmine rice is so much easier to cook. It's also like, I don't know, I've worked with it longer, so I know how to make it, like, if you want to make it, like, a bit drier, if you need it a bit more moist, right? I know how to make that work. But Calrose, fucking travesty. Sucks to work with. I hate it. And I know it's supposed to be versatile and stuff like that. Ugh. It's all like clumpy and sticky and gross. And listen, I know that it has its uses. It's like sushi rice. But it's dumb. Doesn't work.
No entry. You're one of the bonded, aren't you? Like me? Please, I need your help. My throat, I can't sing anymore. I've been making excuses, but it's just not getting any better. If my patron thinks I'm of no use to him, then I need you to sneak out to the derelicts and describe my condition to Thorik. Thorik? Here's a list of symptoms and a hunk of meal to pay for his medicines. Please, I have no one else to turn to. I think the stream is slowing down again. Oh wait, shit, it's down. Damn it. I was looking at it too. And how do I... Oh, I have to go... Ugh, it's only the one staircase. Damn it. Sorry. I thought I knew where it was going. I love the almost circus theme. Now would be a good time to attune to those two other areas, I guess. Okay, Jesus, this place is confusing. It's outside. Okay, Jesus Christ. I can't believe there's like still slums underneath the city. Damn, I wish Cage had this much like world building. Makes me envious of it. Uh-oh. Starting to check out again. I hope I'm gonna be awake enough for the dungeon. I just feel incredibly tired, you know? You need medicines, tonics, potions? A chunk of meal. A cure for an ailing voice, is it? No, no medicine will cure this. Methinks your songbird has a lump in her throat. It must be cut out, excised, and even then, the voice may never heal completely. Poor little songbird, will they kick her from the nest, I wonder? Or simply silence her chirps? What an asshole. Haha, your face, you didn't know? Of the many hopefuls who enter the city, we very few are ever seen to leave, even as corpses.
Oh, you might see one or two fortunate fools hurled from the balconies, but the rest? Gone. A town of nightmares it is, not for this ship's rat, oh no no. I am content to scurry around down here and nibble on the crumbs which fall from the table. This consultation is over, you have my verdict, and I have my meal. Good day. Wow. Shouldn't have. Did you get my medicine? Uh-oh. So that's it? What am I to do if I can't sing? Ah, there you are, my sweet canary. Have you been crying again? Don't tell me your voice is still not on the mend. Oh, generous sir, have mercy. I've done all I can, but even the apothecary said... So you've been suffering all this time? I am sorry, my pet. I hadn't realized your affliction was as grave. But you needn't fret. I will not reward your hours of trilling by casting you out into the street. You are too kind, sir. What use am I if I cannot sing? I fear the day I become more burden to you than treasure. Then I shall have a word with Lord Vothry and arrange for your ascension. In that paradise where resides neither pain nor illness will your song ring out clearly once again. Or mayhap you think it a step too far? No, you would do that for me? Of course. Why, I would almost wish to hasten my own ascension, knowing your blessed instrument was waiting there to greet me. Ascension, huh? She's gonna die. Ah, you must be a new arrival. Allow me to explain. As all know, the Sin Eaters exist to devour the sinful, but also do they serve to gather the souls of the innocent and shepherd them unto celestial paradise. It is through Lord Vothry that we learn this truth. It is through Lord Vothry's grace that the free people of Yulmore are destined to embrace salvation. We are blessed to spend our days surrounded by love and merriment until at last we are called to our final rapture. Even the bonded may find a place within that host, should their patrons deem them worthy. Lord Vothry, oh my god, they turned them into zombies. It's fucking Dead Space. Now, if you will excuse us, we must be on our way. May you find eternal salvation for the compassion you have shown my precious canary. Jesus Christ. Just a shot of my character doing the Home Alone face. I promise I'm like invested in the story. It's a lot of world building right now, but you know, I'm still invested in what's happening. It's just I'm so deathly tired, and I don't know why. I don't think it's because I've been streaming for so long. I honestly just think I'm just a little bit overworked. But I knew that I wanted to play Shadowbringers, and I have committed to making sure that at least for the main scenario quest that I'm going to be streaming the whole thing. So, or at the very least the whole thing up until the first set of credits. Look at that. It's good to see you back. You were taking so long I began to worry something had happened. I began sketching an outline for the portrait, but nay, the eyes appear otherwise occupied. Will you share what your investigations have gleaned thus far? So, Lord Varthur boasts some manner of influence over the Sin Eaters, does he? That would explain the reverence in which he is held by the citizenry. And as for this ascension business, I cannot help but be put to mind of that apothecary and his ominous remarks. If so many folks have entered the city over the years, then where do they go? They become heartless. Where in the castle that never was? I take my eye off you for one moment and you're chattering away with that assistant of yours. Am I to assume the outline is done, then? Huh. What in the blazes? It's so unflattering. Explain yourself, Alvino. Where's your artistic interpretation? It should evoke images of affluence and nobility and overwhelm the viewer with its boundless beauty. Lord Chai, you stated that the portrait was to commemorate your anniversary. Yours being a joyous union, it seemed to me that a realistic portrayal. Realistic? I don't want realism, I want perfection! A spectacle to slacken jaws and weaken knees, to make people cry out in amazement. Now, fetch a blank canvas and... I say, did that come from above? Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. A tale to make you quiver and your noble blood freeze. There was a villain on the loose, set to ruin our fair city. But our Lord has got him now, and his fate will not be pretty. Yes, the hammer of justice is poised to come crashing down, and one and all who'd watch it fall are invited to join his lordship in the offer. A malcontent? How dreadful. And this man is set to face sentencing? That's right. In fact, if you're curious, it might be worth you going along for the experience. The offer they mentioned is part of the Emergent, the level above us where Lord Varthur resides. Ordinarily, you would be barred from entering, but it seems they'll be opening its doors for the next little while. The Crown Lift will take you up there. We had better not dawdle, then.
That's him. That's Vorthri.
Oh my god!
He's attended by Sin Eaters. But how does he keep them from attacking?
Mercy! Mercy!
Sounds
By the
familiar.
12.
Is that the guy from earlier? It is. Oh shit.
Kaishia, what happened to you?
Who are these impudent louts? I do not recall requesting their presence.
Lord Vorthree, what is the meaning of this? Why is this poor man bleeding to death on your floor?
Why? You ask me why? Because criminals must be punished. And this man is guilty of fraud. He came to us, claiming to be a man of business. Yet his subsequent conduct has shown him to be anything but.
Oh,
Europe is a city built on love for one's fellow man. Those who have naught to give and live only to take are a blight upon our society. To atone for this crime, I ordered that he fling himself from the balcony. And he had the temerity to weep. Please, my lord, anything but that. What then is a man of mercy to do, but offer the sinner another way to show his contrition?
Another way? Meaning what exactly?
Sin eaters are part of Yulmore's society, but they must be fed with ether. Living ether. So, I demanded an offering of flesh, carved by his own hand, from his own hide. And still, he could not do as I asked. A wholly unsatisfactory performance.
Tis true that Kaishir won his place here by fraud, but his actions were driven only by desire to share in your paradise. That you would cast him out I could almost accept, but to humiliate him thus, to demand his very life? Is this truly the way of Yulmore?
Oh, you dim, deluded child. Have you ever paused to consider what it takes to maintain such a paradise in this barren, broken world of ours? The guarantee of safety and stability. The knowledge that if one only abides by the rules, one has naught to fear. I alone can offer these things, for I alone can command the Sin Eaters. And thus am I alone the voice of justice, and any who oppose me, villains to be punished.
And people call this paradise.
You were granted a place in my city for a particular skill. What was it?
Painting.
An artiste! Then you shall paint a picture for me of Yulmore. If I find your art pleasing, then I may excuse this display of insolence. Who gave you permission to tend to that criminal's wounds? I told you to paint me a picture!
What you need is a mirror, not a painting. It will capture the horror I see before me far better than I ever could. Can you walk? I think so.
Does little worm just insult me? I'll kill them! I'll kill them all! I'll enslave their minds! I'll torment them! Torture them! And tear out their hearts!
Forgive me. In my anger, I seem to have marched us back outside again, though it is probably best we leave this island altogether. I believe we've worn out our welcome in Yulmore. In any case, I've seen enough of the world's self-proclaimed capital city to convince me that our battle against the Sin Eaters will find few allies in Calusia. I will accompany you back to the Crystarium. We need to regroup and think on our strategy anew. Wait, I forgot to attune. Kaishir, I have done you a grave disservice. You were hungry and desperate, and I offered you a solution without once considering the risks inherent in you accepting it. If I had but known the price you would be made to pay. You gave me everything I needed to make your idea work. It was me who made a mess of things, not you. But even after all the trouble I caused, he still stepped in and saved me, and now Lord Vothry wants us all dead. Why not come back with us to the Crystarium? I am certain we can find work for you there if you are willing. No, that would just be me leaning on your kindness again. I need to do some thinking, learn how to stand on my own 2 feet. Very well, but you must promise me you will be careful. The Yomorans may yet come looking for us. I'll keep my head down, don't worry. And you take care too. Give me the chance to repay you what you've done for me. Alphino. Lord and Lady Chai. What in the blazes did you do? They have the entire city looking for you. I took a peek at your unfinished portrait, Alphino. Now, I've had many a beautiful and striking pictures painted of me, but there was something about your work. It was as if you had caught the very essence of our love and rendered it naked upon the canvas. It was bold, unflinching, and I adored it. Please, you must come back with us and finish what you began. I will speak to Lord Vothry and vouch for your character. I'm sure we can smooth over any hard feelings. I'm sorry, Lady Chai. There are more important matters to which I must attend. More important? What could be more important than enjoying the days we have left us to the fullest? Pray, press me no further. We are leaving, but I would not presume to take the garments you were so kind as to procure for me. One moment. I wouldn't hear of it. Keep the clothes, you silly boy, I insist. We've already modeled them on your character. I shall make arrangements so that you can pass through the gate without causing a stir. I expect you to come and visit. I will return, I promise you that. The outrage I witnessed must not go unanswered. The next time we meet, I shall be better prepared to confront the corruption which hides behind the glittering facade. Can I attune? Please? Pretty please? No? I guess not. I can't even go back and change my clothes! I was like, am I even allowed to go in here?
guess I am. Let's not bother with it. I mean, if the door's open... Oh, shit. Wait, hold on. While I'm there, I might as well... Hold on, sorry. Change my clothes. I gotta rearrange my glamour plate. I heard they're doubling your glamour plate. We're gonna get 15 new slots. I heard 5 at first, but then I heard someone say 10, but now we're getting just straight up just double. I'm fine with that. Holy shit. 30 glamour. I could have 1 for each of my main classes. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I was talking to my friend about trying on Sage and just not having a good time with it because it's so many buttons. It's really daunting, you know? Like Gunbreaker, as someone explained to me, was a very deep DPS centered tank. So I think maybe that's why I stuck along with it, because it was very easy to use. But you know, tank and DPS, you're just dealing damage. But healer, you're focusing. You're literally like focusing on an entirely different set of people. You're like focusing on your allies instead of the enemies, and it's a very very different experience. And it's hard. I tried it once, and also I saw my friend was having trouble with it, and just the idea of when you start off a Sage, you start at level 70 of a healer class, and I got all sorts of buttons showing up, and I go, no thank you. So I think I need to start on a healer class that starts at level 1, just so that I know, because right now I can't. I just don't. I don't know what any of the buttons mean or how they do or how I want to rearrange it, because it's very confusing. So I want to start over with a Sage with a different class, so that way when I go up to Sage that I'm a bit more better prepared for it. I totally forgot to check for ether currents, didn't I? Well, I guess it's gonna be doing that Stormblood thing, which I guess is fine. I'm just gonna stop paying attention to it then. I hate it. Like, I understand why, but ugh, oh, I hate it. And there hasn't even been any quests available either. Thank you, my friend, for staying at my side through this whole sordid endeavor. While it's not quite the joyous outcome I had hoped for, our efforts have nevertheless answered a great many questions. Suffice it to say, our plans for saving the First are unlikely to involve the aid of Lord Vothri and his subjects. Come, we must speak with the Exarch and chart a new course. Hell yeah. Teleport, please, to the Crysarium. Teleport in front of the Exarch, just like the last time. Close enough. Where am I? That's T. What is that? Oh, you're that, you're him, aren't you? Haldor's been asking after you. You know Haldor, right? Clan Nutsies, man. If you're keen to hunt the deadliest marks... Oh, okay. It's for the hunting board. So far, no side quests. Which, it's fine, I guess. Would be cool to have some. Not that I'm any particularly in this game yet at all, so. There you are. I see you've reunited with my brother as well. I'd dearly love to hear how that story went. Okay, before we continue further, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back.
Alright, I'm back. Hello. I was thinking about how, I was just... Oh god, I almost forgot I could have been booted out of the game by doing that. Anyway, I've been listening to, like, a lot of early 2000s music, and the song Disturbia has been stuck in my head. I used to, when I was back in middle school, I used to sleep with the radio on in my room, and those nights are defined by long conversations with my best friend, just on the phone. We'd just be on the phone all the time. We'd play on, like, Little Big Planet, you know, but most nights we would just be on the phone, just chilling, talking to each other. We'd be on a three-way conference call with a mutual friend of ours, and it's funny. I hardly talk to them now, but they still hang out with each other. I actually went to go see them not too recently, or not too long ago rather. Still good to know that, you know, still nice to know that they still hang out with each other, and that they remember me enough to, you know, text me every once in a while. It's nice. But yeah, it just reminded me of, like, middle school, cause, like, middle school was Wild 94.9 at night, you know. It's good to be back amongst friends, not to mention my dear sister. I have not seen her for some time, but I gather she's as keen to press on with our plans as I am. And you've seen quite a lot of the first yourself now, more than enough to appreciate the scale of the obstacles we face. Let us lay our discoveries before the Exarch and discuss what must be done. Alright, here we go.
And so you return. Have you gained a better understanding of the crisis now faced by the First?
A little bit, yeah.
Better is not the word I would use. Some lands may have been spared the flood, but the survivors live only to suffer. There seems no end to the horrors inflicted by the Sin Eaters.
Indeed. Those abominations are a calamity in their own right. And I can well imagine how hopeless the task of eradicating them must seem to you. But after countless battles and untold sacrifice, we have identified a potential weakness. Sin Eaters are drawn to serve the strongest of their...
Shit. Sin Eaters drawn to serve the strongest of their kind.
Will perish in the absence of its queen. We believe that the death of a Light Warden will cause the lesser creatures within its sphere of influence to disperse.
A class of creature we call Light Wardens, and from what we have been able to ascertain, only a handful of these entities exist. Oh, I see. Just as an ant colony will perish in absence of its queen, we believe that the death of a Light Warden will cause the lesser creatures within the sphere of influence to disperse. Okay.
I have a feeling Yulmore might have something to say about any concerted action we take against these monsters. Vorthra's command over the Sin Eaters is integral to Yulmoran society. In seeming to guarantee his people's safety, it guarantees their obedience. He will not take kindly to us depriving him of such useful allies.
Agreed. Thus we will need to occupy or otherwise divert his forces whilst we proceed with the business of eliminating the Wardens. Until we have done so, all other considerations must be set aside if we are to forestall the 8th Umbral Calamity. Your uncertainty is understandable given the circumstances. Perhaps a more detailed explanation is in order. To begin at the beginning, then.
Ooh.
In the ancient past, a single star was divided into 14 worlds.
Okay, here we go. Commit this. Please commit this to memory.
This is some straight up very important shit. Because I tried looking this up beforehand and I couldn't understand it.
This is the source, your home. These others are the 13 shards, in whose number we find the first. Though physically separate, they retain a connection to each other, and with the source especially. Now, let us assume that a given element in one of the shards attains abnormal ascendancy.
Like light.
Just as water will flow from the highest point to the lowest, the excess energy will begin trickling into the source. And such an influx of ether will of course exert a palpable influence. If the element in question were fire, then drought and wildfires might ensue. If it were ice, one might expect the weather to turn bitterly cold. As ether continues to pour in, such phenomena will become more and more extreme, until eventually, a single, untimely event triggers a disaster which cracks the barrier dividing the two worlds. What was once a trickle now becomes a deluge, sweeping the shard along to be rejoined with the source. At the same time, the element which held sway in the shard is unleashed in full, its energies amplifying the original disaster to truly catastrophic proportions. An earthquake thus magnified might strike with enough force to shatter continents. A tidal wave might swell to a size capable of drowning entire nations. These devastating events are what we refer to as umbral calamities.
Okay.
7 times has a calamity befallen the source. 7 times has a shard been absorbed.
And the 7th one was Dalamud. Like there. Wow, they really didn't leave themselves with a lot of planets to work with, huh?
At present, the light-drowned realm of the First stands perilously close to meeting the conditions for a rejoining. It is the Sin Eaters who are to blame for the Light's continued dominance. In addition to attracting their lesser kin, the Light Wardens I mentioned earlier radiate ether, saturating every corner of their territory with light. Even here in the flood-spared region of Northrend, their influence is strong enough to banish night from the sky. Thus, if we are to restore balance to the First and head off a potential calamity, it is imperative that we put each and every Light Warden to the sword.
I see.
We've been doing our best to take the fight to the enemy ever since we first heard the Exarch's explanation.
Though we have yet to claim any meaningful victories if truth be told. Apart from being confoundingly elusive, the Light Wardens possess a troublesome quality which compelled us to delay our plans until such time as you arrived.
Forgive the interruption, my lord, but Hallminster Switch is requesting reinforcements. They say the Sin Eaters are attacking in force, and the village could soon be overrun.
We should be prepared in case the fighting reaches the Crystarium. You have command of our forces in the field, Captain, but hold off on entering the town until I arrive. That goes for Alphino and Alize as well.
My lord.
Pray, lend us your strength. Such a fight will provide you with far greater insight than any explanation I could offer.
Holman's switch is in the north of Lakeland, so we'd best make haste with our preparations. In fact, meet me outside the Crystarium at the crossroads northwest of the Ascensor Gate, and I shall lead you there myself. This music, I don't know, something about it. Very nostalgic. Here. Hold on. This place is pretty. Purple? Okay, what's up there? Oh, it's over here too. I'm starting to worry that my PC might not be enough to handle whatever comes next. Just because I can feel it chugging, you know? I mean, if they're gonna update the graphics with 7.0, whew. I'm sure by that point I'll have some semblance of an upgrade. I don't expect that for a few more years. Well, I don't know. Actually, I've never been around. Hey! Oh, hi! Hey, Adriana. I didn't even see you there. Hello. How are you this evening? Sorry, I didn't have like a notification thing when someone comes in. follow this road north, we will arrive at the northern staging point. The village itself lies not far beyond. Jesus. More walking. How are you this evening? But yeah, I'm sure by that point you just watched Jujutsu Kaisen. Everyone's watching that movie. I don't watch the show. But was it good? Did you like it? I heard that it was pretty good. Or at the very least, everyone was excited to watch it. So I hope it lived up to everyone's expectations. I want to be able to move all my stuff to now that I know like what to expect when it comes to like building a computer. I'm thinking of like, you know, finding something that's a bit more permanent, but I do want to also sell this at some point. But I don't know how that exchange will be. If should I buy the parts first and then build the first computer? I guess that would be the way to go, wouldn't it? I would want to build the computer. Oh, I should have tuned here. I would want to build the new computer before I even try to sell this one. I mean, it's a pretty good. Oh, it scared me. The lights just turned off on the fans. I go, the light turns off when it switches colors, and I'm like, ah. Scared the shit out of me. That's a lot of drop frames. It's not a good sign. I think my internet is just bad. You know, it's funny I say that I haven't, or I was saying it's a short stream, but this is usually how much I average my streams out, so I guess it works out in the end. 903 to the west. Oh, it's all the way over here somewhere. But yeah, I don't know anything about the Jujutsu Kaisen movie. I know that it's a prequel, and it doesn't star any of the characters from them, or rather, I don't need to know anything about the anime. But I'm sure moments would hit me harder if I knew about them. You know? I don't watch the show, but I keep hearing good things about it. I don't know. I haven't even watched any of Demon Slayer because of I don't know, it's kind of a curse having read the whole thing, because now I know what's gonna happen, so I am less inclined to watch the show. Same thing with My Hero Academia, except My Hero's not over. But Demon Slayer is over, so I was able to read the ending of it, so I know how it all ends, and because of that I just don't feel the need to watch the show anymore, which is terrible, you know. But that way I can't get spoiled in anything. Anyhow. Holminster switches past these gates and through the woods. It's not exactly a near neighbor to the Crystarium, but as we occupy the same region, we have built up something of a cooperative relationship. What can we expect inside, Captain? The town is beset by a swarm unlike any we have seen in recent years. We did our best to evacuate the villages, but as many as half remain. Judging by the numbers of eaters present, heartless present, we have good reason to believe that a Light Warden leads the attack. What should we call the Light Wardens then? If I'm gonna call them Sin Eaters, what do we call the bosses? How convenient. It seems we'll have our chance to slay a Warden sooner than we expected. One does not simply slay a Warden. Has no one told you what happens if you defeat one of those fiends? They hold more light inside them than all other underlings put together. It can be struck down, aye, but its essence won't dissipate like the weaker kind. Violet ether will billow outwards and envelop the nearest living being, a reckless young swordswoman perhaps, and turn her into a brand new warden. We need one of those empty crystal shells. Ah, well, you can leave that particular quandary to us. I must ask that the guards stand down and allow us to engage this leader of eaters alone. Concentrate on the survivors. We must save every life we can. But what if... Understood, my lord. As captain of the guard, however, I will not watch you brave such danger without an escort from our ranks. I insist that I go with you. Very well. Then our warden slaying party shall include myself, the Leviers, Captain Lena, and last but not least, Sora. A formidable group indeed. Into Holminster we go. Once we reach the Light Warden, do not hold back. We strike to kill. Alright. The instance dungeons encountered in the Shadowbringers main scenario quest can be completed solo alongside a supporting party of NPCs. Yes, I heard about this. I heard about they're called trusts. They make it so that you can play the whole game solo. To make use of this feature, simply speak with one of your NPC companions near the entrance to the instance and select the option to form a party. When forming a party, you will need to follow the same role restrictions imposed when using the Duty Finder. Alternatively, you can find party members via the Duty Finder as usual and complete the instance with fellow players instead. Let's see what the queue is like. If not, we will use the trust system. Not so bad. Give me a chance to walk around the map and maybe attune to some of these. Maybe attune to some of these a little bit. It's really laggy on the stream, isn't it? Oh shit. I'm gonna assume it's higher. Why are you up so late now, Adriana? How come we never worked together? I assume it's gotta be in there somewhere. I assume that there'd be less people registered for this duty just because they give you the option to single player it. You know, that might actually mess with. I'm sure that that feature was not so easily implemented because at the end of the day, it is an MMO, and you're kind of gonna want people to show up and play your MMO, right? I think the worry is that a lot of people will just opt to play it single player, which is what I think might be happening. But also, it's also like near midnight. So I'm holding out hope that there are still people around. But if we pass... If I can... What is it? Where am I? I have 2 more currents to go. Listen, if I can get both of these currents and not get the duty finder, then maybe I will consider. Maybe I will consider just doing it on my own, you know? Southwest still. Alright, I'm gonna jump down. This place is huge. Oh god, I'm dead. Really? There it is. I love the music here too. Very heroic. But with nothing going on, it's like it's going nowhere. All this hype is not taking me anywhere. It's just up there. This area is huge, by the way. Just looking at it from where I'm at, you know, lots of like vertical spaces, but also, what is it? It reminds me of like there's areas in Heavensward that are like mostly empty space, you know, lots of vertical space, but it's mostly just the sky. It's different. That's it, huh? Okay. Well, there is one other person up there with me. We might as well wait out the 13 minutes. Oh, there he goes. Look at that. Look at that. Or I wonder if it just automatically takes you to an NPC thing. Emotional damage, huh?
should put the mic closer to my face. It's probably harder to hear me during dungeons. Oh, wow. Holy shit. Every single time I go into a new dungeon, music, it's just top fucking notch, isn't it? Oops. I think I'm lagging. Oh. Wow, that's hard. I gotta learn to use my, Shukuchi more. My, my teleport ability. Wow, holy fuck. Look at this place. It's destroyed. Oh, oh no. Jeez, there's so many of them. Fuck. That's hella sad. She's just a mid-boss. She's not even the final boss of this area. Oh, man. Ooh, thank you. Oh, what? It gets an intro, cool, with the name and everything. fuck. Nice. I like his coat. Got some, oh. Really? Neat. Alright. That was fun. I like that.
It's releasing its ether. Fall back. We cannot let it touch us. Quickly, my lord, we must withdraw.
That will not be necessary, Captain. Though I appreciate your concern. The eternal light of these creatures has confounded us for nigh on 100 years. For each we have put down, another has risen up in its place, born of the self-same ether relinquished by its predecessor. But now we have a way to contain that corruption.
Oh, that's why he needed me.
The blessing of light, and the hero who wields it now stands before you.
Then I'm gonna be super buff by the end of this patch. That's a neat effect. It's almost realistic. It's a cool shot. Oh, okay, I just released it. Oh, cool!
Behold, the monster's power is broken, and the world, twisted by its touch, returns to its rightful form.
Wow, the stars. Wow. Oh, that's what the menu is. It's the cool. I dig it. So I assume there are 6 of these that I have to fight.
Interesting.
Is that what I think it is?
The night sky. As it should be.
Who are you people?
Ha!
You killed a warden, then bathed in its ether as if it were a spring shower, and now the sky? The legends are true. My lord?
My lord?
How many years have I waited for this moment? For the one possessed of her blessing. For you. You have vanquished the Light Warden of Lakeland, and for the first time in a century, darkness has returned to the mantle of night. Without the ever-present light to sustain them, the Sin Eaters will have no choice but to retreat. Yet our victory is far from complete. Though darkness has fallen here, the other wardens yet bask beneath burning skies, feasting upon what little life remains. Even should it cost me all I have, I would see each and every one of them slain, that this world might be spared from oblivion.
What I'm still wondering is,
for the source as well. Save one, and we save the other. But be that as it may, I concede it was wrong of me to summon you to this fight against your will.
what I'm still wondering is, how did the Ascians trick the Warriors of Darkness into causing the flood to happen like 100 years ago? Like, were they led to believe that rejoining the two would do anything good? Like, was it not explained to them? Like, was this not what he explained to us not common knowledge back then? It seemed like he had that pretty well written, or rather, he concisely like spoken. Like he knew what he was talking about.
I swear on my life, I will one day atone for that deed. But for the present,
That's just weird.
I beg you, stay and see this fight to its conclusion. Cast down the wardens and restore darkness to the first.
There he is! There he is! I see him!
On behalf of the first, I offer you my deepest thanks.
A profusion of thanks.
I understand there is much at stake here, Exarch, but why do you risk yourself so readily? It must have been a dangerous drain on your ether to summon even one person across the rift.
I do it for my people, of course. To give the Crystarium the tomorrow it deserves.
Is that why his arm's fucked up?
That is true now, yes, but the city had yet to be built when you first called forth the Crystal Tower. I'm simply curious to know what prompted you to commit yourself so completely to this particular course.
There are things which we can ill afford to lose.
Are you just Ardbert? That would be lame.
I sensed from the first that I had a part to play in preserving them. Forgive me. I fear the events of the day may have taken their toll. Despite appearances, I am an old man. One burdened with many difficult memories, some too painful to recall.
Well then, I'm sorry for pressing you. It's a family failing, I'm afraid.
One which has served us well more often than not. Needless to say, we will continue to fight at your side until the last Sin Eater is defeated.
Come then, my warriors of darkness. Let us gather the surviving villagers and make our way back to the Crystarium.
Oh, and look, oh, the skies are just blue. Wow. So many lives saved, and the sky itself heralds your success. A single victory in a larger struggle, perhaps, but a momentous one nonetheless. Trust parties! You can enlist NPC companions to revisit completed instances by opening the trust interface located on duty in the main menu. Can I do that for everything? Trust allows you to enter Shadowbringers and Endwalker dungeons with a party of NPC allies. Party composition must include the same balance of... I guess it's like a one-time thing? No, it can't be, because... It can't be, because they're letting me go back in here, so I'm wondering what this menu's gonna look like once I switch this out. Anyway... that's interesting. I want to take a look at that off screen. But let's see this last one. This last quest, and then we're gonna head out. I didn't realize I've been streaming for 4 hours. Now, as for how we proceed from here... The villagers we evacuated earlier have arrived safely in the Crystarium. They seem to be accepting their situation for the moment. Most folk are far too distracted by the sky to worry about wounds or lost homes. They whisper and wonder if the Warrior of Darkness has come. 'Tis to be expected. Sora, I must ask a favor of you. Would you be so kind as to conceal your involvement in this endeavor for the time being? Seeing the light recede from Lakeland is a momentous occasion, and many will be swept up in a maelstrom of excitement and confusion. Should you come forth as the legendary Warrior of Darkness, I fear that, no matter how good your intentions, such an appearance would throw the city into disarray. I find myself in agreement with the Exarch, although my concerns are more focused on Yulmore. Right. It may be best if you maintain a low profile until we see how Vothru responds to all of this. What, did the light hit, or sorry, did the darkness hit, the other areas? My thanks. Though we cannot freely celebrate your success, pray allow your heart to be buoyed by the joy of our citizens, a joy you surely brought into the being. And I must ask the same discretion of you, Captain. 'Tis my intention to share with our people the tale of a great warrior who stood in defiance of the Sin Eaters. This unnamed champion defeated the Light Warden and has since departed for parts unknown, yes? As you wish, my lord. Your penchant for mystery is nothing new, and I will encourage folk not to question this either. Although, I expect to be told the whole truth of it one day. About all of you. With that settled, I shall return to the Crystarium and make an address to the people. These explanations and adjustments will consume much of my time, so pray, take the opportunity to rest and recover from your exploits. And to think, you'll not even need to shutter the windows to enjoy a dark and peaceful night's sleep. It's raining and it's dark. Is that scripted? That doesn't feel... That feels really scripted, but it could just be... I must stay behind and coordinate the evacuation of the remaining survivors. And I hesitate to ask after all you've done here today, but could I ask you to pass on a message on your way to the Pendant? Please let Broggy know that we're bringing in a number of injured and that any restoratives in the markets need to be reserved for the infirmary. Wow. We should start making our own way back to the Crystarium. Slowly, mind you. It wouldn't do to arrive too soon after the Exarch. I'm staying by as well. There's something I need to check on in Holminster. We already went through the village top to bottom, Alice. We should all take the chance to rest. You included. We're gonna check on that little boy, aren't we? I need one of those Aegis, and I just can't just... Oh, she's gonna look on Tesleen. I can't rest. Not now. Man. So please, I wish to be left alone for a while. And that means you as well, Sora. I shall be cross if you try to follow me. I promise to find you later, when I feel myself again. Just you and me, then. Shall we? I miss you, Alfie. I really thought... I didn't think he was gonna die, but, you know. Wow. Rain, huh? A perfect way to end this, I guess. Anyway, thank you all so much for everybody that came and tuned in. If you missed any part of the stream, it will be available on YouTube at youtube.com/soramoto. If you want to be notified of any future streams, follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/soramoto. If all else, I need to put this up. Just one last thing I want to show. If you want to support me in my endeavors, I urge you to buy some of my merchandise at store.streamelements.com/soramoto. I got shirts and mugs available. And like as I was saying earlier to Professor Goodfields, I am still in the middle of trying to host that giveaway. Once again, just send me a DM on Twitter if you wish to partake. Send me a screenshot of you following me on Twitch, I guess, as proof. And I will figure out a time to do that. Hopefully sometime soon. But yes, hopefully sometime soon. It is a giveaway for just a game code. Not a game code, but for just like a $60 code to any platform of your choice. So just tune in, and if you can, to that stream. But if not, just send me a DM, and I will pull out a raffle. I guess I'll give you an extra entry if you choose to be there. There you go.